this action, this resolution, to the next agenda, to a further agenda, to make sure that we've been able to vet everything between the county, Snyder, and ourselves.
Josh, this is just the reissuing of the PID that we've been engaged in a long period of time, right? Or
Yes,
is this
ma'am.
a net new?
No, this is
Okay. Just for clarification.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Actually, when this first came up, we wanted the Tessera subdivision assessments to pass through the county appraisal district and become another line item on the appraisal form. But the county was not willing to do that back in 2013, I guess is when that occurred. Maybe they're willing to do it now. There may be a fee associated with doing it now, I don't know. I think it's a good thing because that removes one step, and also from a transparency to the property owners out there, they now have a complete picture of their liability associated with the property. I think it's a good thing to go attempt to do. I just don't know if there's any cost for us, and if so, is that recoverable through our SAP or service plan?
Mayor and Councilor Smith's exactly right. That's some of the things that we've discussed with them. We had the dialogue. Travis County is on board with doing the collections. However, there are some potential fees that can be tied in, and we have to clarify with Mr. Snyder if we can recover those, as well as some of the language in how that'll be reported back. So again, the way we've done this resolution, we're not confident with saying give us that authority, since the document, we're not confident in it now. We did have legal review on it. We're good with that. However, there's still some areas that need to be vetted before we're ready to move forward.
I would think that any fees associated with that would be part of the administrative cost of the public improvement district. I think we can get our money back on that, if I remember the service.
We believe so too.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion, we table this item according to staff desires.
I'd second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second, and I would just like to add my comments that we have had council members that did not know they were in a PID. So with the clarification of this, I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say, so I've got the motion second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I just had a question, when are you tabling it?
Oh,
Tabling it to our next meeting,
I-
the August 2nd meeting?
Yes, sir. That's good with me.
okay, and who made the second? Do you accept that as the second?
I accept that as second.
So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion has been tabled. All right. 4, discussion and possible action regarding ordinance number 18-07-19-01, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Lago Vista, Texas, amending Appendix A fee schedule, Article 10.000, Parks and Recreation fees to modify 10.200, golf course fees, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and providing an effective date.
Mayor, this item was previously presented to the City Council on June 21st. During that discussion, Councilor Sutherland had requested some updates on individual items to make sure that we were not effectively making a change that would have a negative impact on our golf course revenues. Staff reviewed that. There were some areas that needed to be changed. Those changes were made, and then we've implemented that back into the fee schedule presented to council.
Mr. Mayor, I did analyze it, and they did get real close. They're off by like, you did your 99.99 special trying to attract folks. I get it. All that's good. I did have 2 questions. One, we're kind of going against established procedure in that we'd like to have a recommendation from the committee that oversees this. I understand they didn't meet and they didn't do that. I just want everybody to know we're consciously bypassing the Golf Course Advisory Committee in making this change. I want to make sure everybody's comfortable with that. And then the second thing was, the other thing I asked about last time was putting a semi-annual option back in. I saw that I wasn't the only one asking about that. On social media, people asked about that. I think it's a fairly popular option. It's a chance for us to get 6 months worth of people's money up front. I would think we would like that. Is there any way that we can get the semi-annual option back in here?
Mayor, there's a way to do whatever you want. What the challenge is, the 6 month can be there. You're basically paying for 6 months. If you just do monthly, you could do that option.
Okay, so what we did with the new rates is for annual and monthly basically stayed the same to what they were in the past. And I guess my only question would be, you could establish a new semi-annual option that would stay the same, because if you do this, pay 6 months at a time, you're paying more. And so I think that's the reason why people like the semi-annual option. They get a little bit of a break, just like the annual people get a little bit of a break.
When is the golf committee meeting again?
We will meet next month. We had planned to meet, last week? And we had a family emergency with our committee chairman and failed to get a couple of things taken care of. And it was decided that rather than try to meet and halfway do it, that we would simply postpone and wait until next regular meeting.
Have they seen this fee schedule?
It's been sent to them.
And have you had any discussion with any of them?
The only discussion that I've had with a couple of them, they felt like it was appropriate, saw no problem with it. But as far as sitting down as a committee and looking at it, no, we have not.
Do you think they're going to be offended if we go around them?
I don't think so.
And Mayor, administratively, if the council does choose to take an action tonight, you could take the action by making the change, adding that in, and adding the amendment into the ordinance. If you don't take action, then staff would go back and make the change if that's what you want us to add. The only challenge is, as Councilor Sullivan's saying, is to look and see if the 6 month membership drives 6 month members. That's the only thing, is to differentiate to see if it's effective or not effective. I think the more options we provide, the more people we potentially bring in. So staff will gladly do whatever you tell us to do.
But making amendments tonight would affect we'd have to come up with amounts for
I hate amending on the fly like this.
A1, A4,
Can we push it to the next
A5,
meeting?
A6, A.
Mr. Mayor, I'm not sure that was what would happen. I think you see how we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and they've got options underneath them. I think what you would have is you would add, and see, 1 is annual fees, 2 is monthly fees. We'd have a 1.5 that's semi-annual fees. I'm being a little facetious there, but you understand, you wouldn't have to change each one of those 1A, you just introduce a new main subject area of semi-annual, and it would have things underneath it versus changing all the rest of those items that are there.
Okay, so
I believe that's how it would work.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, my question would be, is this something that you need today? I mean, if it didn't happen until the August 2nd meeting, would that be okay? If we gave you guys the time to go introduce the semi-annual option and then bring that back on the August 2nd?
And Mayor, from our side, again, nothing is going to slow up our operations. However, at the last council meeting, our plan was, and we said, present it. If it doesn't get heard, bring it back to the council to consider, and it wasn't heard. So we're just doing exactly what council had said is the process. So we can make any changes. I mean, any item can be heard 4 times. Whatever changes you want us to make, we can do whatever you need us to do.
Already way too much time spent on this, in my opinion. So why?
Suzanne, this is golf.
You're right, it's golf, I'm sorry. How about this alternative suggestion? We vote on this part tonight, and then maybe in the next council meeting, we can talk about adding the semi-annual. Or we, just knock it off. I really like to check things off the agenda. It makes me feel good.
I make a motion that we approve the ordinance number 18-07-19-01, an ordinance for City Council of the City of Lago Vista, Texas, Amendment Appendix A, Fee Schedule, Article 10.000, Park and Recreation Fees to modify 10.200, Golf Course Fees, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and providing an effective date.
I'll second.
Yeah.
So we're
And that we will look into the semi-annual,
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
and give the Golf Course Advisory Board an opportunity to weigh in, but approve the schedule as is right now.
I think the golf course committee ought to look at it first, but
Yep. But I'll second move on with it.
Yeah, I'm just, I don't know, as far as further, I've got a motion, I've got a second. Further discussion, I'm just kind of wondering, I know Suzanne wants to move on to the next topic, but if we're gonna amend it and include annual, and we want golf course committee, semi-annual,
And
we
just
want
wait.
golf course to, why approve it? Why not just table it and give them direction? Come back with a,
That's fine.
take it to golf and then come back with the,
So they can withdraw their motion.
That's
so
fine.
we can vote on the motion.
I take it back.
vote it down.
If you,
I'll go along. Yeah, I take it back.
you know,
Take back my second.
okay, the motion and second has been withdrawn.
Is that legal?
Yes, you can do that.
Is that?
Yes, you can do that.
Yes, you can withdraw a motion and a second.
in a
yes.
second. Yeah.
As long as you haven't
I'll make a
voted.
motion that we table this item and that we recommend to staff that they add a semi-annual option to it and then they take it back in front of the Golf Course Advisory Committee.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a new motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Hearing none, it is tabled with direction. All right, we are on consent agenda, and we've gone to a whole new head. All matters listed under consent agenda are to be considered routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion. There will not be separate discussion on these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. We are looking at the approval of the following minutes, June 21st, 2018, and July 5th, 2018.
Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda items.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Hearing none, motion carries unanimous. Discussion items. Number 6, discuss Planning and Zoning Commission member appointment.
Mayor, if I can lead in with this item, we had a resignation on the Planning and Zoning Board. That would reduce our membership from 7 members down to 6 members. Presented in your packet were the names of 4 individuals, 3 individuals that we had originally pulled up that had not been appointed to another board, an advisory board of the city. When we amended it, we did note that Kent Leopold actually serves on the Board of Adjustment. And then a 4th member, Frank Robbins, who serves on the Board of Adjustment and
Also.
served as the Charter Review Committee,
And KLBB.
asked to serve. He resubmitted his application to serve on this P&Z. So we provided those, and then we left it open for the council liaison to provide direction.
My recommendation after talking to the P&Z and everybody else is that Frank Robbins would be the best fit because of his background and his knowledge of ordinances and resolutions in the city. I did talk with Roy about it also, and he thought it would be a good idea. I think it would bring some stability to my board, and allow them to move a little bit faster in making decisions and changes to ordinance.
Just to
He is willing to resign from the Board of Adjustments at that time, if he's selected. I did talk to him about that.
And How would that affect his charter review?
Well, I don't think it does affect the charter review. I mean, that's
Well, I'm just wondering if we're asking him to resign from one.
No, I think the only reason, he can't serve on two commissions. The Board of Adjustment's a commission.
Okay.
Similar to the P and Z.
Right, especially because the P and Z decisions are appealed to the Board of Adjustment.
Yes.
Yeah, so he
You can't be
can't.
judge, jury, and
But if we take
Somewhat.
if we take the ability, if the voters amend it and we take the power away from the Board of Adjustment, give it to the building committee, now there's no longer a conflict because it is.
No, there's still a
huge
conflict.
conflict
No, there-
because they then only listen to appeals to the planning and
Okay,
zoning.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, because he,
So-
the Board of Adjustments will be reviewing everything from planning and zoning
P and
and
Z
appeal.
denials,
Okay.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right.
so he can't serve on
And
two.
just so everybody knows, this is a discussion item, not an action item.
Oh, okay.
Is the idea that it'll come up August 2nd?
Yes.
Is there any, I didn't see any write-ups on any of these individuals included. Do we not have any
Mayor, we do have the individual
applications?
member applications.
Can I see them?
Can we review those?
Yeah, can you include them in the packet for August 2nd?
We can, yes.
And, yeah, we should, because they had currently applied, we should still have their applications and everything on file because they're good for 1 year.
I thought they would be in here,
Yeah.
is my point.
Right. That and, yeah.
And Mayor, what we look for is that direction. We wanted to provide this back to council to get that onto your discussion and in your thought process. The one question we would have is, do you want us to include Mr. Leopold since he already serves on the Board of Adjustment? Would you like for us to include everyone that potentially checked off the box for P and Z originally? What items? We didn't have direction on which ones to include. There were a lot of people that checked
I
P and
remember.
Z.
Yeah, I'd say just give them all back to us and let's look at all of them.
Yeah,
I agree with
revisit
that.
it.
You want them all?
That's what I'd like to do.
Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna take your recommendation. But
Fine.
it'd be nice to just look and see what else is there.
Mayor, we'll do that. So for the next one, we'll add everything onto there and send it back in the packet.
All right. We good? Good. All right, number 7, discussion to provide regulatory authority to building committee. Now, we've already discussed this kind of up when we were on topic number 1. Again, this is just a discussion item, no action can be taken tonight, so.
I don't think there's any action to take.
No,
It sounded
no.
like we needed some research still.
Right.
And if we are gonna take action, it'll be through the charter amendment, correct?
Correct.
potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Mayor, the reason we had added this item on here is that we need to clarify that, and personally, we haven't talked about it. So in our field of discussing items and having it twice discussed, or on the charter, discussing items 4 or 5 times before we make a movement on it, it also allows us to provide review from Aaron, because there is that possibility that an ordinance or an act by the council could empower based on our charter language. So we really want to review it and then bring the items back. I know it's something that could go to the charter. It's quite possible, based on the changes that we're proposing to go on the charter, that we wouldn't have to take that action. So this gets it out there. That way council can look at any other questions. Aaron can do a review on it, and then we can make sure next time to get you information you need.
All right, all good?
My question would be, would we be able to take action on this at the next meeting?
Because this is potentially a charter thing, if everything's good, yes,
we need to have-
we will,
We don't have to have a public hearing?
no,
Okay.
just like the same charter things we did today. It would just be an amendment to.
So would we also get
We're just looking
direction
to
from
see if we're gonna
legal?
put it on the ballot, so.
Would we get direction from our legal?
Public hearing.
Yes, yes. I just made a note to prepare a memo to you about how the change could happen. I think it would be good to hear a discussion from council on what you want to see. Is it that you want all of the authority regarding building committee duties to then be converted to a building commission? And what authority do you want them to be given? Do you want final decision-making authority? How do you want to handle appeals? That way I can evaluate it fully for you and provide you options.
My recommendation would be to, to research this and see if we can give them, as a commission, give them regulatory authority, much like the Board of Adjustment has now for zoning. We'd like to have them have the same regulatory authority over the building code. So Chapter 14, which is zoning, would remain with building, with the zoning, the planning and zoning, and Chapter 3, which is the building code, would then fall under the purview of the new commission.
And my only additional ask on that is, how would that, if we went that path, how would that compare with other municipalities? Would it be somewhat similar to what other folks are doing, or would we be a trendsetter in that regard? It'd be good to know that.
If I can make a comment on that, when I looked at the rules of procedure that I'm proposing that we adopt, which was from the city of Weatherford, they have a similar alignment. They have Planning and Zoning Commission, they have Building and Standards Commission, and they have the Board of Adjustment. They have three entities that have regulatory authority, and we would like to, or I would like to see us have the same thing.
Good. All right, number 8, city manager's report. FY 2019 budget.
Mine was empty.
Mayor, there's not any item on there except for what's listed on the agenda, which would be the FY19 budget. If council wants to discuss any items that we didn't address earlier today, this section could be there.
No, we're good.
There you go. We did schedule our next workshop, and so we'll plan to discuss it at that item. That's all I have, Mayor.
And should we announce when we have the next one?
I was going to, but I forgot the date, so
16th?
16th at 4:30.
4:30, right here at City Hall. Yes, sir.
Everybody, the 16th of August, 2020. I mean, 18.
2020.
It might have been 2022.
You may not be,
You just made me 2 years
Mayor's
older.
moving on.
Just wondering if anybody was gonna catch it. I shouldn't have paused, that meant if it didn't. All right, future meetings. Consider schedule and items for future council meetings.
Mayor, per the previous request, we inserted the future items based on the previous minutes. You'll see some of the items that appeared on this agenda have been removed, so we're very excited about reducing that list. Other items we have left on the list, and we'll continue to update this list so that you have them moving.
I'm gonna emphasize political signs. We might need to get that one addressed pretty soon, as filing deadline is August 23rd, is that correct? Or August 22nd or something like that?
August 20th, I think.
20th?
Opens at the filing for the elections opens at July 23rd and closes August 20th.
That's a good one. And maybe we can put that in public announcements moving forward until that time period. We can open sessions on council on the agenda and make those public to everybody. That's to help promote people getting engaged in city government.
Gotcha.
I also want to emphasize to Mayor Pro Tem Bland for a future meeting. I am out of state on August 2nd. You said you already had that on your calendar.
I will be here, barring a 5th death in the family this year. I will be here on August 2nd.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, a couple items. I met with the Library Advisory Board last week, and they're reviewing their long-range strategic plan and plan to bring it before council for approval sometime in the fall. So just be looking for that. We talked about the charter item that said that we're supposed to have an investigative body and procedures. So at some point, we should put it on the agenda, talk about it, figure out what we're going to do about that particular item. And I think that's it.
So the way it's looking, discussion items, we would want that on the August 2nd. And same with the airport action plan, August 2nd? No?
I will be shocked if they're ready.
Okay, so.
I think
we
we
may
made-
have to push that to September.
It may happen, I think we're making progress with TxDOT, giving us feedback on the documents, so I think that's moving forward, but then obviously, once we get it, we'll have to set up an AAB meeting and to get some recommendations, so I think it would be pushing it to try and get it on the August 2nd, to be honest with you. But I do see it in our near future, within the next, say, 2 to 4 meetings.
Somewhere in one of our future meetings, somewhere in August, I think P&Z will have a presentation to show us on a clear understanding of building heights. They've been working on trying to show.
Do you think they'd have it for August 2nd?
I don't know if it'd be August 2nd. It might be the following one, maybe the
September.
16th of August, but, you know. But my meeting's the 26th, and they're supposed to show me a preliminary on the presentation, so I'll let you know. If I can get it on the 2nd, I will.
Yeah, I was just trying to follow Mr. Mayor's procedure of discussions
Yeah.
on the first.
Yeah. I'll work diligently on trying to do that. Okay? Okay.
I move faster.
Anything else for future meetings? Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to the highlight of the show. Executive session.
Does the video ever come back up?
Are we on video or we just, okay. Number 10, convene into executive session pursuant to sections 551.071, advice of counsel, 551.072, real property, 551.074, personnel, section 551.087, economic development, Texas Government Code, and section 1.05, Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct regarding A, pending or threatened litigation pertaining to cause number D-1-GN-16-002483, Villa Montecino LP versus City of Lago Vista, Travis County, 200th District Court. Consultation with legal counsel concerning possible real estate acquisition, management, or divestiture and attendant matters thereto. Consultation with legal counsel concerning airport property. D, consultation with legal counsel regarding contractual claims or possible claims or charges, contractual modifications, questions related thereto. E, consultation with legal counsel concerning the participation of the City of Lago Vista in the CAP Metro Transportation Authority. F, consultation with legal counsel and deliberate economic development incentives for projects located within the City of Lago Vista. We're going at 9:12 p.m. We'll be back in 3 hours. It's only half of the night.
You said 10:30.
Are you really gonna wait for our executive session?
One question. It's a procedural question about the creation of the building committee as a commission. Since they'll be